Hey guys, Alex here and welcome to Momentum Charting. If you have not yet done so, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Guys, you're not going to want to miss the updates coming up in the next couple weeks in the broad markets as well as in PayPal. Some very interesting developments happening in the markets. Only way to get notified is by subscribing down below. So, thank you very much for that. Let's dive in here to the chart of PayPal. And it looks to me like the two most important trend lines can be found here on the 1 hour chart. I am here inside TradingView as always. We have this very strong overhead resistance right at around $308, and then additionally we have this upward sloping trend line on the 1 hour time frame. To me right now these are the two most important points, but the single most important trend line to me, absolutely without question, is going to be this overhead resistance at $308. What we need to do is we need to break that to the upside and hopefully continue along this nice 1 hour developing trend line to the upside. Okay, so the play to me is going to be to wait and see on this move to the upside, which is currently underway, if PayPal can start putting in 1 hour candles above this support line. Then all you're going to do is set your stop at that line of support, which would be the first candle that broke above that $308 level. So again, you'd set your stop right at about $308 and watch it ride up. Now, the only way you would sell is if you had a entire candle which broke back below this line of support at $308. So very, very high reward and low risk scenario here on PayPal developing if we can reach back above that line of resistance and if we can get 1 hour candles to start breaking above this line of resistance. Let me go over here to the momentum chart and show you that it may still be a little while. We may not be able to do it on this run to the upside only because this 1 day momentum has started ticking to the downside. You can see here something very similar happened in between the December 2020 and about February 2021. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this is exactly going to play out again in a similar scenario, but you can see here in order to break out of this momentum overhead resistance, it took effort number 1 and then pulled back, and then on the second time we had this clean breakout of this upward sloping overhead resistance, which we may be setting up something similar here. We are going to have to watch that. Comes here, comes back, and then finally breaks, and then you would just set your trend line like this. Then once you broke out, that's when you started getting this really big move to the upside here in early February this year, this sort of exponentially moving up where we went from 270 and then peaked at 308. So we may need something like that to develop. We're going to have to watch this momentum closely. The 2 hour and 4 hour momentum, the 2 hour here is leaving a little bit to be desired in my opinion, because you've got this kind of negative divergence momentum setup where you've got a positive divergence, and then coming down here between these 2 points have a negative divergence. And same thing on the 1 hour chart. You've got positive divergence, positive divergence, positive divergence, broken trend line to the downside. And now you've got set up this little bit of negative divergence on the 1 hour momentum chart. So again, what does that mean? Well, obviously, first of all, it means we're going to need to wait and see what happens with the chart of PayPal, because sometimes what can happen is on these momentums, it can come back down here, form a double bottom, and then start building momentum back to the upside again. Okay, so there are positives and negatives on this. On the daily, again, the very positive aspect of this momentum chart is we are operating well above the 0 line of momentum, which is all the way down here. We're operating in the 60 and 70 range, which is very positive for stocks. So chances are we continue to operate in these areas of momentum. For sure, at some point here, we are going to come and break over this overhead resistance at the 308 level. Whether or not, again, that happens at this level here, or we come down here, maybe have some new line of support down here, and then break out over here. So we're going to have to watch for that. Again, it depends on this momentum on the daily. If we're able to start getting a daily momentum trend that breaks back to the upside over this overhead resistance at around 65 and starts moving series of higher lows and higher highs back to the upside, which will enable us to bust through this overhead resistance at 308. Set your trend line there and ride it up and see where it goes. So guys, that's it for PayPal. Pretty cut and dry. 308 overhead resistance, most important line right now on PayPal. Guys, once again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please go down below, subscribe. It's going to be the only way to ensure you get all my updates on PayPal, as well as broader markets. Some really cool stuff happening over the next couple weeks in broad stock market, so you're not going to want to miss any of those updates. Subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, and I will see you all again shortly in the next update. Thank you. Bye for now.